Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Thursday. That's right. It's a thunderous Thursday, a throwdown Thursday, and it's a end of the MCU Thursday. Well, not quite, but it's Fantastic Four, the Thrillist Last Steps, and I got to tell you, I'm gonna have to share all of my opinions with you later this afternoon or this evening, depending upon what time zone you're in, and I'm gonna do it live. So at least for the first part of the review, you'll just have a basic breakdown on the film. The last part, we're gonna do a Q&A portion, which will allow you to ask any question that you would like about the film. But that's not why we're here right now. We're here for the pre-show and the shout outs and the sound check, so that, we can make sure I sound beautiful as well as look beautiful. We got beautiful people in the chat, like Last Call with Troy Pacelli, who has been here for a long, long time. In fact, I didn't even get a chance to note in real time what that would actually be, but it's a long, long time indeed. I think for 32 months, almost 3 years. Where's the time gone? Troy asks, and I say, well, right here. And thanks for being here. We appreciate you. We appreciate the weatherman getting up and hanging out over on the Green Machine. Good to see you, my friend. We got so many other great people out there. The lovely Jill Powers doing time on both the Green Machine and on the tube. Good for you, dear, and thank you. Thank you to Juliet. We've got a busy bunch of wrenches, and I want to say thank you to all of you. Apollo's Minion is out there driving the roads, getting us our stuff. Got to say thanks to her and her lovely little minion. Great to see you, and I hope your day is going well. Josiah Robinson is out there in the chat. Great to see you, Josiah. We've got a few other folks like Crazy White Boy and Ms. Pit Cafe hanging out over on the Green Machine. And as Weatherman points out, it's more like the Fantastic Four. That's true. Beautiful Deeple popped in on Green Machine. Tom F is over on, both places, including here on the YouTubes. Let's see, who else rolled through the door? Many of you, including Extreme Meme. Hello, hello. And let's see. There's Mr. Cat. I know nothing about this, but if you transmit something over the internet over and over, expect to get sued. Yeah, I've got to tell you, the stuff that I picked up for today's headline, the thing that's actually on the thumbnail, I guess it'd been going on for a few days or even a long time, but I didn't know anything about what was going on, really. I'd heard some vague mentions of people saying things like this about Mark Cohn's wife, but didn't realize the center of that circus tent was Candace Owen. So we'll get to that in just a moment, along with all the great people who are here, including Penny, and Jan Monroe. Hey, what's up, Jan? Walter Tomaszewski, what happened to my post? That's a good question. I don't know. Sort of Peepeski Burr is out there. What's up, Snorty? Favorite polar bear out there. Got a few other folks rolling through the door. I hope you are all having incredibly, and I want to say a special thank you to Ruby Hoo for a Culture Casino membership. All right, folks. Believe it or not, 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in. We only have 17 stories, though, so we should be able to manage and then send you over to that Park Place Live for some morning magic. But let's start here in the UK, or Great Britain, and ITV profits are down 30% for the first half of 2025. They're not alone. You are not alone. Yeah, everybody is losing money on advertising right now, and they can't artificially prop up their, garbagey television programs, whether it be news or otherwise, anymore. And so you're going to have more and more of this happening, but you're also going to have more and more shiltasticness show up. That's right. Alien Earth, a program I was quite high on, I am no longer excited about. It is incredibly woke based on all of the commentary around it. Now, that could just be the marketing in an effort to, try to get people to not watch this, but that seems like the opposite of what would be intuitive here. I don't know. We'll have to see. What I do know is that South Park is back and taking big swings at Trump and at Paramount in a Savage Season 27 premiere episode, which, you know what? Chill out. You're supposed to be able to make fun of the king. You're allowed to do that. And you know what? South Park's been doing it forever, taking swipes at both sides. So calm down. I think it's going to be fine. What I think is really funny is Paramount just wrote them $1.5 billion check, $1.5 billion check, and they're still going at them. So I think everybody just needs to, give it a break. Speaking of giving it a break, 50 more episodes are coming. That's right. Over the course of 5 years, you get 10 episodes a year. That's 50 on that 5-year deal. The entire series is going to be back streaming over on Paramount Plus. Speaking of which, how Alf Ennison went from being a nameless pilot in Guardians to the mighty Galactus, well, who cares? I don't care how people get from point A to point B. If you are into biopics, watch one. If you want to see somebody perform in a film, go to a movie. And this guy is just a guy that's in a movie. And this is the guy they're trying to hype right now. Well, hopefully he's a good Galactus. I guess I'll find out soonly. I just have to check in my email. What else is happening? Oh, we've got Tanya Simon named executive producer at CBS, trying to, replace everybody that walked out the door there. We'll see if it works out, but if she's got political ideology embedded, then it won't work out well. What will work out is good things, so put good things in theaters. Like IMAX theaters. In fact, F1 jumped. Big old summer release. Really pushed the earnings for F1 in a big, big way. Q2 earnings overall, just extraordinary. And this film is actually going to be headed to digital at the beginning of August. We've got Sinners and Superman being the hits so far. At least that's what they claim. But they're saying that superheroes and horror films maybe are no longer box office guarantees. Yeah, you know who else has been saying that? Us, for a long, long time. Speaking of things that do work, though, Lilo and Stitch 2 is going to be in the works. Chris Sanders is back to write the script, be a part of it. The guy that created it all and still has some, solid family values will be back, and that'll be a good thing. What will be bad is people like Elizabeth Warren, Fakahontas. She came on Colbert's Late Show cancellation talk and said that, is that a Paramount paying Trump off a bribe? No, it's not, crazy lady. Colbert is losing money like crazy. You give money away to your friends. This man loses money in the form of, advertisements because he doesn't make enough. He loses $40 to $50 million a year. You give that away in a weekend. All right, moving on. We've got Candace Owen accusing Brigitte Macron. Candace Owens accuses Brigitte Macron of bullying her with a defamation suit over her claims that the French First Lady was born a man, baby. That's right. Candace Owens is not shutting up. Well, hey, that's what she says. But this is all coming about because, there were claims that were supposedly allowed in France. And I think recently there was another court case that stood behind that. So you can call anybody you want. You can call the little fellow standing next to that person a chick. Nobody would know, and nobody would care, or nobody should care. If you care about something like that, is there something behind it? I don't know. But to be fair, I don't care. I don't care that Trump's going to visit the Federal Reserve in escalation of a campaign to pressure him to cut interest rates. Well, he should be doing that anyway because of the financial news that's been coming out, like U.S. jobless applications have fallen for the 6th straight week at historical lows. So what's going on there, Powell? Good question. Let's look at, the world shares rising, being buoyed by hopes that more and more trade deals will arrive before the dreaded August deadline. And United Health is currently under investigation by the Department of Justice for all of their, bad behavior, probably on Medicare, Medicaid, and things that are not supposed to be fraudulently billing for. It seems like a lot of these healthcare companies do that frequently. But investigation nonetheless. We'll have to see what comes of it. And finally, a man captured a surreal moment. He spotted a bear and cubs camping in Alaska. And here they are. Let's see if this plays. There he is. Aw, you gotta love bears. Hi, bear. Just out for a bit of a camp. I'd be freaking out. I was gonna get my face eaten off, but that's just me. Look at that. Big old bar. Gotta love it. Little cubs out for a little beach time. There were 3 of them, and I know they didn't make it up on the screen, but because I was too lackadaisical in pointing out the fake fraudulence of other entities. Anyway, thanks for being here. I see a super chat from Michael Steele we'll get to in just a moment. I just want to say thank you for the week so far. We got Friday tomorrow coming up with a little bit longer show as we always have on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But right after this, right after bonus time today, you will be headed over to Magic Hours, Morning Magic, over there at That Park Place Live with Vash and Friends. Vash and Friends. That sounds like a good show. Vash and Friends. Yeah. Just got to be careful how you say it. All right, let me get to Michael's super duper chat just to say super thank you to Michael for $10 Canadian, saying, "Saw your video this morning. Great job. DC movies do not get to the 30/70 ratio. Since 2005, literally every DC movie is a 50-50 split. A couple of within a couple of percentage. Yeah. I was not surprised at all to hear about the Superman box office. Well, look, I will say that property and DC as a whole may be more American centric. And the only way that Zack Snyder could make it relatable to a European audience was probably to make it so dour and dystopian that the people in Europe could identify with it. I'm just kidding. But no, it's really weird. And as Kevin and I went through those numbers today, and he's going to be in tomorrow's video as well. You just can't escape it. You're looking at the percentage of performance from Superman to most of the other earlier superhero movies. They had a major discrepancy in performance. You got to have a box office that really does deliver internationally for all of these properties. And that doesn't seem to be the current trend. And it hasn't been for a while. We just haven't been paying close enough attention. So I have a feeling that the next few years are going to have to be a point of adjustment, not just in budget, which they've already started to do and have been needing to do for a while. It'll be broader than that. It'll be bigger than that. They need to do something better than that all overall. We need to bring films back to a $40 or $50 million budget if we want them to perform. We need the mid budget to be the top end budget for a while. And I don't know. Keeping films under $100 million is tough enough for Hollywood to do, especially if they're trying to make film in Los Angeles. And that was why I leaned so heavily into yesterday's subject, which was nobody's filming in LA. Every quarter they keep cutting the number of starts in Hollywood. It's too expensive. It's too many requirements, too many rules. It's easier to go to other states. It's easier to collect tax incentives there. So go there. If you're just shooting around town at a few cafes and a couple of other sets, maybe shooting in LA is okay. But, you're also kind of taking your life into your own hands shooting in LA. But it is what it is. I just want to say thank you to Michael Steele, Ruby Hoove, and to Last Call with Troy Pacelli for being here so long. Man, it's great to see everybody. Got Cynthia Carter out there. Great to see you, dear. Battle Buddy is in the house. We got Kelladin 910. We got Davina Duckworth in the house. The amazing, the incomparable, the man himself. Eric K., the master of mods, the mensch of wrenches. Caradwin is joining us today from across the pond. And Dr. Jill Powers is everywhere. Tina Guzman. It's great to see you, dear. Luke Corola's art. I never say his name right, but he's here. Love that guy. Just say Luke. Marvel always does better than DC. It's so true, Michael. That's so true. And another point that I think Kevin made spectacularly in that video from this morning. Thinking Heretic for $5 in Culture Cash says, why would a bear camp in Alaska? Don't they live there? They do, but I guess the illusion or the commentary there is to create the impression that the bear and the cubs were out for a bit of a camp on the beach. That's basically all I think that they were trying to say there. But yeah, it's kind of nonsensical. But thank you for the $5 super chat. Caradwin is incredibly generous. Look at this, 5 Culture Casino memberships. You are all amazing, and 5 more of you are even more amazing because you just got gifties. That's right. I just want to say thank you to those of you who did send supers. I'm actually putting the little heart emoji on each of those right now. We've got, let's see, Randall Orser all the way from Canada, because he's Canadian. We got the Georgia Peach here, Zack Snyder. You gotta take or leave that guy. Some things he did were great. Some things he did made you realize he's a one-trick pony. He likes slow motion and lots of filters to make things look sad and depressing. So yeah, one-trick pony. Well, maybe that's two tricks. He's a two-trick pony. I don't know. Get out more, Zach. What else is out there? So many more great people in the chat. Culture Trick is Speed today. He's peppy. No, I actually just watched the Hunter Biden interview. My goodness, the train wreck. Holy cow. Holy cow. That's right. The lovely Penny. Good morning, dear. Look at all the people that just got these gifties. I live in Canada. See, I know you keep telling me that, but I want you to be in someplace exotic. Don't you want to be in someplace exotic like the Netherlands? That'd be fun, right? New Zealand. Would that be a good time? I don't know. And as Battle Buddy says, thank you for your support. That's right. Not all of California is bad. That's true, Tina. I know. The big city isn't great, but the outskirts aren't horrible. Not perfect by any means, no. But you have to remember, my experience in Southern California was back when it was darn near perfect. Even the zany craziness of Venice Beach had cleaned up from its 70s drug days. And you could go out on the beach and not worry about stepping barefoot onto a needle. And those were the days. Yeah. Somehow Southern California turned into New Jersey beaches. I don't know what happened there. And now I'm going to get hate from New Jersey folks, but that's fine. Enjoy the silence. Yeah, Alaska is huge. Yes, it is. It is massive. Having been there just less than a year ago, I'll say, holy cow, that's a big place. Very much so. The water is like glass when you get in the inner passages, though. Amazing. Jed Revenwolf, how are you doing? Thank you for the gifties. Yes, indeed. The lovely Romeo says, everybody have a wonderful day. I hope you do. And I hope to see you all back tomorrow. But before we go, I'll just say thank you to Tony Piacente for upgrading membership to Gold Club. There you go. And thank you to Robert for a note for 2 Culture Casino Cash saying Marvel makes more money because DC isn't as toyetic. That's the word of the day from yesterday. I think that came out of, let's say, Midnight's Edge. And I think that was their word. And it was correct. They do not do enough to produce toys. Although Marvel's not doing a lot to do toys. Right now, Marvel's adding to plastic scrap piles left and right in the form of Ollies and Five Below and any other toy that gets thrown there until eventually it makes it to the shredder. Once again, thank you, Tony Piacente, for the upgrade. And thank you again to Ruby Hoove, who wants everybody to have an incredible day. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and stick around, because if you're on YouTube, you're automatically redirected over to Boomerang Magic. And for those of you on the Green Machine, you know what? Check that out. You guys are looking for a wizard dance. I think I would, you know what? We only have time for me to be thrown off a roof. Is that okay with everybody? Just to get me thrown off a roof? I think a lot of people will be okay with me being thrown off a roof, probably especially Putin's cat. So be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.
Why, hello there, random citizen.
Oh, hey there, little buddy. How's it going?
Have you subscribed to Culture Casino yet?
Well, no.
Friggin'
Oh!
These guys, I tell ya.
Oh!
Dang it, I missed. Why won't these guys just subscribe already?
That hurt.